a report about the use and results of the grant funds 6 months after receipt. Businesses that are franchises or restricted to patrons above the age of 18 or older will not be eligible for award. For example, bars and smoke shops. I want to note that there are other requirements both before and after an application is approved, and interested business owners should apply and find the full details after this press conference at cabq.gov/economic development, or they can call 505-768-3730. Applications will be available in both English and Spanish and in other languages upon request. The Economic Development Department's Small Business Office has the staff available to assist business owners complete the application, including Spanish-speaking assistance. Applications will be reviewed as they are received. Now more than ever, we must rally behind and support our entrepreneurs and small businesses to provide them the flexibility and resources they need to minimize the economic impacts of coronavirus. We have heard from many in the community who want to donate about small businesses. So those of you who are interested should donate to the One Albuquerque Fund and earmark the donation for small business. We want to especially thank our sister department, the Department of Finance and Administrative Services, who will help us distribute the funding. I'd also like to thank Chris Muirhead at the Module Law Firm and Tara Gore at the Grant Plant, who helped us to shape this program. Also would like to thank the Albuquerque Community Foundation, and especially the Central New Mexico Community College, who were willing to partner with us to administer this program. Now I'd like to talk about our guide. In addition to the Microbusiness Relief Program, the City of Albuquerque Economic Development Department has put together a resource guide for businesses who are navigating COVID-19. The resource guide includes information, resources to COVID-19 financial assistance relief programs. The resource guide includes information and resources to other COVID-19 financial assistance relief programs, best practices for businesses, organizations, and workers, and other resources. cabq.gov/coronavirus-information. The resource guide is updated as more information and resources are made available. I'd like to announce that on Wednesday, April 1st at 10 a.m., my department will host a webinar to provide current information about federal, state, and city financial assistance, and talk about other lending programs. Those interested can participate in the webinar via Zoom. A link can be found on the City of Albuquerque Economic Development's website. Again, we want to continue to encourage folks to support local. We continue to urge residents to, one thing, we like to call them burqueños, I just call them residents, is to tell your community about the small businesses you are supporting. The request is simple. It's fun and a great way to be connected with friends, coworkers, and loved ones. Residents can post their pictures of delivery and takeout and challenge others on social media. Use #SupportLocalABQ and please tag @CABQEconDEB. We're also asking small businesses to tag us in posts, and we'll be sure to help spread the word about businesses. Again, please stand 6 feet apart and maintain the distance from others. Don't gather at local businesses. Remember to keep groups no more than 5. And you should also remember to wash your hands again for 20 seconds. Finally, as Mayor mentioned earlier, I would like to announce that we have hired a new small business office manager who will oversee this program. David Sayers. David has been in New Mexico in the small business ecosystem for the past 6 years. David understands the challenges that our small business owners and entrepreneurs are facing today. David has lived and worked in the state of New Mexico for over 15 years and has experience as being an entrepreneur himself. He's a graduate of UNM's Anderson School of Management. David is of Navajo descent and grew up in the Four Corners in a small town of Bluff in the great state of Utah. Has lived in Gallup and now lives in the city we all love, Albuquerque. David has a passion for helping small businesses in both metro and rural communities and is experienced in providing technical assistance and access to resources. Like Mayor mentioned, David couldn't have joined the team at a better time, and we are happy to have him aboard to lead the Small Business Office, not only during this critical time, but also as we continue to boost our support for the small business community. As I mentioned, the Small Business Office was established in September of 2019. It is meant to serve as the central point of contact for Albuquerque entrepreneurs and small businesses. The Small Business Office was established to connect individuals to the right people and appropriate city agencies. Now, thank you, and I'll be available for questions following the press conference. I'd like to turn it back over to Mayor Tim Keller.
Thanks. Okay, and now with a brief update on our city's planning efforts, which of course is very tightly tied to our construction industry. Director of Planning, Brennan Williams.
Good afternoon, Mayor, thank you. As the Mayor mentioned, my name is Brennan Williams, currently serve as the Planning Director for the City of Albuquerque. I'm here to thankfully and gladly announce that the Planning Department continues to provide essential services during this difficult time. Firstly, we have limited and restricted access to the building, but our efforts continue. We are still processing all types of permit requests. Part of the ability for us to be able to do this is recently we converted from the old way of submitting permits and plans, the paper submission route, to an electronic or an online system. We found that roughly 90% of the incoming permit requests are accomplished this way, and during this time, those numbers are consistent with what we've seen in the past. We're also providing, based on the elimination of face-to-face interactions with customers, we are providing drop boxes so that members of the public that are seeking to submit paper plans or a paper permit are still able to do so. These are large metal file cabinets that we have outside the building. They're placed out first thing in the morning and they're collected in the evening, but they are available Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Customers use one drawer to submit their application or their plans, and then staff comes out and retrieves those at various times during the day. And then if it's necessary to provide something back to the customer, another drawer is used for that. Payment for permits continues to be accepted. Most of those are done online. If you are interested in that or need assistance with submitting your permits or submitting payment, we do have staff members available, but you can go to the city website, cabq.gov, and if you'll query permits, you'll hit our landing page for our building safety division. It's very self-explanatory, very friendly, user-friendly, and so that can help you if you have questions with permit submissions. Going hand in hand with permits, of course, are inspections, and inspections also continue. Our inspectors for about 2 weeks now have been working exclusively from the field. Thanks to technology, they are able to not only plan their day based on the inspections that are requested, but they are able to update our permitting system remotely. If the inspection results are not real-time inspection results, they do happen quite frequently. So again, that's a service thanks to technology that we continue to provide. I'm also happy to announce that despite the interruption of our standard permitting procedures and our inspection procedures, current data shows that our applications remain consistent with submissions not only from a month ago, but submissions and permit submissions that were taken in a year ago this time. The only noticeable change, excuse me, the only noticeable change is that our review cycles have been reduced, which is always nice. We're able to more quickly, more expeditiously review those permit requests and get answers back to individuals that are attempting to pull permits. We still have other permit counter services in the building and online that remain operational. Our business registration application numbers are consistent with what we've seen historically. Online applications are the meat of what our group reviews, and that's the submission methods that's most often used. Those numbers remain consistent. As I mentioned earlier, face-to-face interactions with customers has been reduced, but we have seen an uptick in our telephone calls and our email inquiries, and we do have staff members that are available to answer those, so that service continues. Finally, related to permits and applications and construction and community development, applications for our various boards and commissions continue to be accepted. Those are accomplished both online as well as in person using the Dropbox. Ultimately, the result of those applications to our boards and commissions results in a public hearing. Utilizing technology, we continue to conduct business thanks to some guidance from the Attorney General and from our city legal department, as well as the use of remote conferencing services. We are on the cusp of restarting or beginning those public hearing processes again. In closing, obviously, I can't tell you that it's business as usual, but the adjustments that we have made and the numbers that we are seeing, the activity levels that we are seeing, I am pleased that the planning department is assisting in this difficult time. Thank you. Mayor?
Okay, thank you so much, and we'll wrap things up, I think, with really just mentioning, want to talk about our myth of the day that we want to debunk. This one is about the IRS calling for information. The IRS will not call you for your bank account info or social security number. So if anyone is getting these calls, people claiming to do that, asking for that information, be aware that it is definitely a scam. So, okay, Tim's Takeout yesterday, we had Thai cuisine too. So with that, let's take your questions. Any questions in person? All right, Jesse, any coming through online?
We have one from Zoom, from Kiwi. What is the status of the requested field hospital that the governor requested? Has a stipend selected, or when will things start being set up?
The question is about the status for the field hospital and so forth. There's no change in that status at this point. Our city, again, we mentioned the old Loveless Hospital, and also it's possible we could use the Balloon Fiesta if they want everything to be like a temporary tent structure. And so those are the two ideas that we put forth, and at least as of today, there's no change or update on that matter.
And then one from the Journal for Economic Development. How many businesses in Albuquerque have 5 or fewer employees?
That's a good question. Several. Several.
I think what we can do, we'll follow up with you on that one.
That's it for 1 second.
All right, we'll just stand by for a minute. We got some online questions coming in.
Follow-up question from Kiwi. Any idea of when you expect more information on the field hospital?
I would suggest, so the question is, any idea when we expect more information on the field hospital? I know that was, the item that we were working on was a request. So I would check in with the governor's office on that, as the request is coming from their office.
Another one from the Journal. Does this work with the anti-donation clause?
Good question from the Journal. Does this economic development program work with the anti-donation clause?
I'm happy to answer that.
Sure, and a clue is that's why we had to use
Yes.
this.
And so I could, just to make very clear, the city will not be providing benefits to small businesses as a donation or benefit without receiving comparable value in return. This is an action that is necessary at this time, as Mayor mentioned, as we look to stabilize the city's economic and tax revenue base. The proposed program is a tangible benefit to the city of Albuquerque.
Any in-person questions? No?
Okay, and I'll just add too, that's when we had our lawyers look at this, the LIDA channel would have been one avenue for this, but to get the money out as soon as possible, that's why we included that language in the declaration. And so there's no concerns now about the anti-donation clause.
There's one more from Cherokee.
Okay, and another question coming in online. Go ahead.
Have you heard any information from the private hospitals or UNM about their status of PPE or personal protective gear?
So the question is, have we heard any information from the hospitals about the status of their PPEs and protective gear? We are in daily communication with our hospitals, and the last call too, even I personally had with them, is that, I mean, they always need more. And our Emergency Operations Management Center is releasing as much as the federal government will allow them. And I know our governor's also working on getting more. So I have no new information that's different than last week. However, it is Monday morning, and I would expect tomorrow we might have some more information for you on that, as I know they're going through the hospital and Emergency Operations Center calls. That's what we were all on this morning.
Question.
Okay, looks like we do have one more.
Hi, so I know you guys are going to be accepting applications immediately for the micro businesses, right? So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
process is going to take a while because I know everything's kind of hectic, or when can they receive those checks?
We're gonna,
Hold
they,
on.
yes.
So
go ahead.
come up and repeat the question.
Got it.
Go ahead.
The question is, how fast will the city's economic development turn around those applications to small businesses? They will be notified within 5 business days. Yes, we have people taking phone calls immediately after this press conference, and applications will be reviewed as they're received.
Okay, any others? All right, we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks so much.